Welcome to the Mass Retirees Weekly Update. Today is Friday, November 20th. I'm Shawn Duhamel. Welcome. Thank you for joining us again this week. Now, I have a special guest with me, our association president, Frank Valeri. With Thanksgiving coming up, we thought it would be a wonderful thing for both of us to talk to you this week. We also have some pretty good news to share as well. So, Frank, say hello to our members. I'm sure they're all going to be happy to see you.
Thanks, Shawn. It's a pleasure being here. I mean, I've had afforded the opportunity to speak to you over the phone, on our hotline, occasionally when I do them, as well as teletown halls that Shawn and the rest of the staff have put together. But it's been all audio and not video, and it's a pleasure to have you people at least view me while I talk. And as Shawn said, I have some good news. This past week, the Senate just wrapped up the second half of the budget. As you know, the House completed it the week before. And the Senate's version and both the House and the Senate version had several items in it that are a positive response, a positive report that I can make with you today. First of all, the COLA, which we're all interested in for the state and teachers, has been held in abeyance with the budget process. It was approved, the full funding amount has been approved by both the governor's recommendation, the House, and the Senate. That now will go back to the governor for final approval. That full appropriation does include, which is the most interesting thing, probably the hottest item in the appropriation is our COLA increase. We've been getting a number of calls from members wondering where the COLA was this year. The COLA, as I said, is subject to the final budget appropriation. The 3% is in the governor's recommendation, the House budget, as well as the Senate, which was just completed this past week. So that's great news. Now, the next question is, when will we see this COLA? The COLA was at the level of number one that'll be retroactive to July 1. Whether it's going to be in November's budget, November's payroll, or December, it's a little too early to tell. We're monitoring the situation. We're staying in direct contact with the state treasurer, who's responsible for issuing the checks and the payments to all the state and teacher retirees. So we're hopeful that the budget, which was sent over, by the way, very quickly, conference committee has now been established, and the goal, I believe, is to get the budget over to the governor before Thanksgiving. If that's the case, there's a chance we may see it in November. But if not, it will be in the December check and retroactive to July 1. So that in itself was the main item that we were monitoring in the budget process. Of course, the other item that was very concerning to us was the GIC, the funding of the GIC. And it was fully funded as requested by the agency and the governor, so we don't see any glitches there in the GIC funding coming up throughout the end of this calendar and fiscal year. So the GIC fully funded and the pension schedule fully funded, that rounded up pretty much. There's one other item I think Shawn's going to address that was contained in the item, contained in the budget also. That'll be going to the governor's desk in addition. So the last thing I'd just like to talk about is our very successful PAC drive we had. First of all, I want to thank all the members and the generosity and the timeliness of getting this in. It was so well received that we not only raised more than we had in the past years, but we also included this year a little item to respond to the COVID-19 crisis. We actually asked members if they could donate more than $25, $2 of that donation, $25 or more, $2 of that donation will be set aside for COVID-19 and families that are struggling with unemployment and with inability to pay rent and other bills. We asked for members to donate $25 or more, and we would set aside $2. Well, at the end, we raised almost over $12,000. And as such, we'll be reporting, and because of that, we'll be reporting in the next newsletter how we're divvying that up to several different charitable organizations throughout the state. This concept is very similar to what Lauren Baker did, the COVID-19 state fund that she created this year. And she had raised millions of dollars and was distributed to many of these agencies throughout the Commonwealth, help for those families who need it the most. There's one good thing about us retirees. There have been no layoffs in pension checks. We've been able to get our pension check every month. Our system has remained very solid in the market. It's the bright side of our economy, but everybody else has not experienced financially to the level we've been able to experience it. So with that, I want to thank the members and their generosity. So we've been able to give a little bit back to those who've been suffering the most throughout this COVID-19 crisis. And again, thank you so much. Well,
Great.
with that, Shawn,
Thank you, Frank. And as Frank mentioned, this report on our PAC and a detailed list of the 6 charities that we have been able to donate to because of our members' generosity. And nearly 6,000 members contributed a little bit extra this year to make this happen. And we can't be more grateful to you. We picked 6 charities through all corners of Massachusetts, as Frank said, to help families in need, whether it's, with rental assistance or helping with food banks. The list goes on, unfortunately, and we're very pleased to be able to provide a little bit of assistance to help people along the way, particularly this time of year. Now back to the to the budget. We are very pleased that in addition to the COLA and the other issues that Frank mentioned, we have also been successful in extending the retiree work waiver that those members who have returned to public service here in Massachusetts, many have done so in response to COVID-19 and are providing absolutely essential services at both the local as well as the state level. You're well aware that the state created a waiver in terms of both the hours you're allowed to work in a calendar year, as well as the amount of money that you're able to earn in a calendar year. Both of those restrictions have been lifted for 2020 because of the COVID-19 pandemic. Back in April, when that waiver was first put into effect, none of us ever anticipated that here we would be at the end of 2020, still fighting through this absolutely awful situation. The need is still there. Our members are still providing these essential services, and that waiver needs to be extended into 2021. Both the House and the Senate are in agreement. That language is included in the budget, which is going to the governor, and we anticipate that Governor Baker, who initiated the waiver in the first place, will also be in agreement. We can extend that through 2021 or the life of the pandemic. In addition, other news going on, the Group Insurance Commission had their November meeting yesterday. As of now, we do not have any indication of plans to make sweeping changes or really any significant changes to your health insurance plans if you are enrolled under the state GIC for FY22. Now, while FY21 is just now getting done in terms of the budget, work has already begun on the next round of the state budget, which is, of course, FY22. We are very concerned about the impact that the pandemic and the financial crisis might have on state finances, and we'll be monitoring the situation very closely. We have reported on this extensively in the upcoming newsletter, which, as a matter of fact, went to the printer today, and you'll receive that by the middle of December. But as of now, the good news is that the GIC has made no public announcement of plans to make cuts or any kind of significant changes to your benefits. As a matter of fact, we are anticipating some information coming from the GIC in December relative to your life insurance. So we will be reporting on that information as it comes out. But as you know, we have been working very hard, and Frank has really focused on this issue of raising the basic life insurance beyond the current $5,000 to a new $10,000 level going forward. So we're hopeful to have some positive information from the GIC at that point. In closing, we're going to skip next week's video message. Next week is Thanksgiving. We're going to close our office Thursday and Friday of next week and give everybody much needed rest. But we'll be right back to you the first week of December with a new update. We have a lot going on at the end of this year. We're going to have hopefully a lot of activity to report on, both at the state level as well as the national level when it comes to the windfall elimination provision. We've been hard at work with our friends in Texas and our national coalition around the WEP. And we're very hopeful that we'll see some progress before the end of this session in Congress when it comes to the WEP. But with that, I know that Frank has a closing message for all of you. So Frank?
Well, I just really appreciate the opportunity to, technology is great, and being able to have members see me and wish them a very safe and happy Thanksgiving means an awful lot to me. And be safe, throughout your lives. It's a tough time. Enjoy the holiday as best you can.
And on behalf of all of us here at Mass Retirees on the staff side, I wish all of you a very happy and safe Thanksgiving. And we'll be back to you the first week of December with a fresh update. But be well, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.